Well, hello, I am Kirsten, and I have been a challenge student for the past 2 years. I have graduated now, and I did challenge 3 and challenge 4. And this is my friend Kayla.
Hi, and I was a challenge student for 3 years. I did challenge one, two, and three, and now I will be graduating in December, so a semester early and going off to college.
Okay, now how about your like a day? What did a day in the life of a homeschool, high school challenge kid look like? What give me an idea.
Would you like to go first?
Not really.
All right, we're gonna go from less to more.
That'd be more right here.
My day usually consisted of getting up around 7 or 8, not not too strict, and then hopefully getting most of my school done by 4 in the afternoon, with some little breaks here and there. Again, I wasn't all that magnificent when it came to time management, so sometimes it was longer, and that was usually whenever I would go somewhere else and do school somewhere else because I was tired of being in my bedroom and doing school there. But usually all I had during the day was schoolwork and practicing violin and then just working around the house. So it wasn't a major schedule like some people.
On the other hand, my schedule was very crazy this year. I had 4 part-time jobs, so every day was different from the day before, and the day after would be different than that day also. Generally, I would be at work by 7. If not, I would be heading to work at 7. And depending on the day, I would work until about 6 at night, sometimes later. And then I'd go home and do homework, the homework that was laid out in that planner for the day. Sometimes on the days that I was nannying that day, and I actually nanny kids who were in CC, they would do homework and I would do homework. On other days, I would not have that opportunity, and so my schedule would literally be from work at 7 to working all day, getting off say about 7, and then I'd go home and do homework until about probably 10 or 11 some nights. Not a schedule I recommend for most people. Not a schedule I would like to redo. I mean, it got done. I did do a lot of work on the weekends, and that's not something I necessarily enjoyed, but it's something, I mean, I had to get it done, so it was something that became a normality.
So for both of us, it can be done. No matter what's your schedule, no matter how much you have to do, the two extremes
are sitting right here.
You can get it all done. It is possible.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. That's great. So, what did you do to kind of break up the monotony?
The way that I would break up my schedule so that it wasn't as monotonous and just the same every day was by changing scenes, moving somewhere else to study. And sometimes that was with every subject. I would move to a different place. I liked to do a lot of schoolwork outside. And I also enjoyed doing schoolwork with other people. I somehow managed to get schoolwork done when my friends were sitting there. And so, like, starting out in my bedroom and then moving upstairs to the kitchen table or the kitchen counter, and then moving outside and sitting outside and doing some reading or whatever. Or I would exercise and I'd walk up and down the street and do memorization or things like that. And then sometimes I would go as far as to another building, just getting out completely. And then I would usually go to the coffee shop that's here in town and just do some stuff there. And occasionally getting together at the church with some of the people from church and working there. They're just mainly getting away from one particular area, which also helped with remembering things because you were in a different setting. So you were able to remember, okay, I remember because I learned this here, or I learned this there. So that was one of the ways that I would break up my schedule. And in the evenings, I mainly just spent time with my family. I also had a very small job during the week, and I only worked 6 hours a week, but I would do 3 hours of cleaning twice a week. So that also broke up some of it as well.
That's great.
My schedule during the week, day by day was not very like monotonous per se, but my week by week looked pretty much exactly the same as the week before, the week after would. My Mondays obviously consisted of school at Classical Conversations, and then my Tuesdays were what I called my easy day. I would only work from 7 to noon, and then I would get a 2-hour break between work to do schoolwork. So I specifically went somewhere to do schoolwork because I live like north of town, and so staying in town was a big time saver for me. And so I'd go to the coffee shop, and I would not get coffee until I got something done. So even if it's just like finishing my planner, then I'd get coffee, or very goal oriented, whatever it was. And so then I'd go from one babysitting job to school or to coffee shop to do schoolwork, and then I go to my next babysitting job. And that one actually was a young child who had to take a nap. So during her nap, I did homework. Then then I go home and do more homework, and then I eat dinner. And usually during the week, my nights weren't very, like, main thing I did was I talked to my family, and then maybe watch like an hour or so of TV to like not think about anything. And then I'd probably do some more homework and go to bed. And the next day on Wednesday, I'd get up, go to work at 7 o'clock. And I was actually a nanny in the morning for about an hour. And then I went to the donut shop where I am an accountant's assistant, and I would work there. And then about 2 o'clock, I'd go back and nanny. And after, when the kids would work on their homework, if I wasn't making dinner, I would pull out my reading textbook, or I'd try to memorize something really fast, or at least make some kind of progress. And then after I got done there, I'd go home, and usually I would get right to my homework, maybe eat some dinner, and get right back to my homework. And then Thursday, I worked all day. I was a nanny that day, and that was usually a good day sometimes they had a little more homework that day because they didn't want to work on Friday. So I would get a little bit of homework done while I was nannying. And then after I got done with them, I would go home and do more homework. Like, that was just my week. Friday was my day. I usually tried to get a little more done because Friday night I liked to do stuff. And so Friday I would work from 8 to 5 or 6. I would like probably go to Springfield, hang out with some friends, or try to get out of doing homework. Do something not so monotonous as homework can be. But Friday night was usually my de-stress, like, this is my one night of the week, I'm going to do something, so let's do something fun kind of thing. And then Saturday I would do homework, and sometimes spend time with family. And then usually my homework was done about Saturday. Sometimes I had 1 or 2 things to do Sunday night, but that was my big breakup of homework versus work. Like, no monotony there unless you're looking week by week. So that was my schedule and how I tried to break it up, at least.
That's great. Wow, you guys are no joke. That is awesome. That is great. Wow. Wow, that is intense. That sounds like my West Point schedules you guys are running.